How many taints did that guy have? That's what we didn't ask.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Bit Weird but Fair Enough I Guess. Hope you've had a great week. Probably unlikely if you had to go to the toilet at all and found yourself running short on toilet paper. I know this is happening in various countries around the world, but in Australia at the moment it is crazy here. People have decided the best way to combat coronavirus is to stockpile toilet paper in an arse-wiping defence of some kind, which I can't quite understand. People fighting in supermarkets over toilet paper. I don't think there's anything much loopier than that to try and talk about this week in this intro. How about you follow us on socials? I want to get a community of weirdos going on there. Follow the show on Instagram, at Twitter or Facebook. And we're back with a bit weird but fair enough, I guess. And as always, I have some guests. They are returning guests. They've been on before. They are my friends Matt and Ben. Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, I'm well. How are you, Stu?
That's Matt.
Hi. I am also very well. And how are you, Stu?
I'm good. That's Ben. Anything weird going on with you fellas? Anything odd across your desks? I know that you like to sit, you have desks that you sit at and weird things come across them which you process.
Indeed, I had two very they're more a bit odd, a little bit strange, in regards to sort of sporting information that crossed my desk over the week, and they were just little odd tidbits that I thought I'd like to share with you guys.
Okay, sporting, weirdness.
Because they lost so many players to World War II military service, in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles, in the 1943 season, combined and were called the Steagles.
They were not. Really?
That is true.
Oh my god.
And who do they play? The Pets? The Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's good. Well
better
done.
Than the New York Jackers.
Were they the only amalgamated team you're aware of? Or?
That is, so far, that is the only amalgamated team that I've been aware of, and it was only for one season. So that's...
I like the idea of the coaches just like fighting for supremacy on the sideline.
Well, maybe one of the coaches went to war.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Who knows?
I was going to say, a coach sends a player in and then the other coach stands up and pulls him straight off. Like he doesn't even get to the play. Replace him immediately. Send someone else.
All right, I've got it worked out. I'll give my half of the team the instructions for what I want them to do, and you give your half of the team instructions what they're going to do. Break.
That would be a game to watch, right?
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. That's a great tidbit. That's a great weird tidbit. That might be a new segment. Weird tidbit, just to start this section off with.
Well, look, just to maybe add to that, while I was sort of looking through some odd sporting things, something popped into my eye line that really sort of grabbed me. Being that I'm quite the basketball fan, Wilt Chamberlain, who was one of the greatest basketball players ever, never fouled out of a game.
Huh.
Now, just have a guess how many games he played of NBA basketball.
Oh, more than 200.
Oh, I'd be pushing like 1,000, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well done, Matthew. 1,043.
Really? I don't know how many they play in a season.
And he never fouled.
He never fouled out. Now, for a guy that played, like, he was enormous. He was 7'2", I believe. and was one of the most dominant inside players ever. And I suppose it wasn't necessarily as physical a game as it was, during the sort of 90s, but to never foul out.
But are those dimensions why he was never fouled out? Like no one's game?
Well,
Is that
Yeah, is it like the old W.G. Grace? Like, just, like, nah, you can't get me out because I'm too good.
even when he is
Can't
out?
foul me out. People came here to watch me.
Yeah, people came to watch me.
Well, yeah, every chance. Every chance. I mean, Wilt was, he's the Big Dipper. I mean, sorry, my stats were incorrect. It was 1,045 games.
Oh.
I shall correct myself.
Well, you
but
live and die by your stats, we know that.
That is true. So currently dead.
Any supplementary information on what kind of fucking name Wilt is?
Well, it's good for
Is
nicknames.
that short for something?
Yeah, is it short for something?
I don't think it's short for something. I wonder, like, what would it be short for? Wilton? Wiltshire?
Wilted.
Wilted. Well, he definitely wasn't wilted. There are many rumours around Wilt Chamberlain. Wilton. That's where Wilton Norman Chamberlain.
Right.
Wilton.
What are the other rumours about?
Well, he slept with a lot of ladies, so he wasn't wilted at all.
Yeah.
Well
All
done.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
we kind of made that point a couple of times, but that's all right. We'll keep going. Or shall I throw, as I always like to do, the bit weird law of the week at you? Yes, this is a strange law from around the world, which, by all accounts, i.e., as far as I was willing to research, is true. In South Dakota, USA, it is illegal to fall asleep in a cheese factory. So, what do you think of that, gentlemen? First thoughts, initial thoughts?
Is that to prevent, like, really horrible dreams?
Oh, yeah, no, there is that. What, is it an old wives' tale?
I think it might be.
Scientifically proven that if you eat a lot of cheese before sleep, it gives you munty dreams.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
maybe
true.
they didn't want to have it proven, therefore that's why this law has been put into place. Yes.
Okay. So that's the kind of quick byline kind of version. The actual fully written out version is that it's not actually illegal to fall asleep in a cheese factory. It's illegal to fall asleep lying down. So you can fall asleep standing up in a cheese factory.
So, like in a cupboard or something.
Well, I guess, or just hanging from the
In a
rafters
chair?
or something. I don't know.
You could be
just
sitting down.
in a nice chair somewhere. You could plonk
I
yourself down.
suppose if you brought in a nice recliner into the cheese factory with you, that should be all right.
I bought
That's a
my
lot
own
of
cheese
effort.
recliner.
So is it
so
an
it's not
angles
the
thing? So you could actually be on a recliner, but because you're not actually laying
Yeah,
perfectly
well, that's
flat.
It. There's no stated acceptable degree, but
Got
it's
to be
just,
parallel. You can't be parallel to the floor.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's not the fact that you're asleep. It's the being horizontal kind of factor that seems to be what people are taking issue with in South Dakota.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, theories, if anyone's got them in, send them to the social pages.
Because you'd think eating, like if you're in a cheese factory, I guess working might be a problem, but if you're in a factory doing a tour and you're eating a lot of cheese,
Yeah.
then you're probably prone to need a little nap.
Well, it's really up to them to provide kind of, banana chairs that are just
Just off.
Just off, yeah.
close to being horizontal, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one click above the horizontal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think maybe that's an old archaic like factory. Some horrible factory owner bastard has declared that no one will have a nap in my cheese factory. I'll make it against
Yeah.
the law.
Yes.
I can't think of any
so
other
the-
reason.
Okay, so he was like
it's
the
from
mayor.
it's from that great book from the American Golden Age of Literature, No One Will Fall Asleep in My Cheese Factory. Remember that?
Yep. Who stole my cheese factory sleep?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's too weird to keep talking about. So, as per usual, I've asked my friends here to bring a story to the table. Let's go with Ben first today. Ben, what do you got for us as far as weird stories concerned?
Well, I have I got a little something here from the Guinness World Records. Now, as we know, there are some fairly amazing world records, and I always liked looking up the Guinness Book of World Records just to have a look at the world's tallest man, the world's shortest man, etc., etc. Like those sort of
least fouls in a basketball career.
Exactly. So those really important ones, the one like world's fattest man, that sort of stuff. But they've really started to stretch. They've got to a point where they're, how many plates you can balance on your head, etc., etc. But there is one that I found, which is the fastest 100 metres running on all fours. The record has been broken by Tokyo's Monkey Man.
Oh, now, right.
Kenichi Ito, otherwise known as Tokyo's Monkey Man, has broken the Guinness World Record for the fastest 100 metres running on all fours. Now, he's 33.
Yeah.
And he practices this particular style of running.
Right.
Sorry, one of the taglines in this particular story is it's a rags to records story for Ito, who works as a cleaner and reportedly mops floors on all fours to practice his technique.
Wow. Okay, so just before you go on, we assume here that this is confined to a running style of kind of belly down. We're not talking Exorcist going down the stairs style.
No,
backwards.
No, there are no stairs involved. This is actually done on a running track. Right. Okay. I'm sure somewhere in the Guinness Book of World Records there.
Imagine having to watch that race if they're all doing Exorcist style.
Yeah. Coming down the stairs with the arch back. Dealio.
See that? I'd be in for that. I'd definitely be in. Maybe not necessarily watching it live. That could be. But I'd watch it back.
Yeah, I don't believe a word of that.
I don't believe a word of that either.
Your nickname for some time has been Frady Cat Wiggins. So.
That is true.
Anywho's, isn't there a famous Turkish family who live permanently on all fours? Wouldn't they give the Monkey Man a run for his money?
Well, are they the horse family? Like, are they the ones that run around paddocks like horses?
I don't know if they call themselves that, but
well, that's what I'm calling them right now.
Maybe some unkind media may have called them that. Yes,
but have they broken their own world record 4 times?
It's hard to say from this vantage point, I've got to say. All I know is that all I've seen is them footage of walking down a road, really, together.
Yeah,
so
true.
That's the kind of level of expertise I'm coming from here on the subject.
And I suppose that's my question. Is it's a little odd that all of a sudden you're running around, having a bit of a play, and maybe with your kids, pretending to be a horse or pretending to be a monkey, something like that. But then to sort of make your name, as that guy, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is a bit weird. You're absolutely right, and you've brought it to the right place. Clearly,
excellent.
But the Guinness Book of Records, there's so many of the Guinness Book records where you think, how did you come up with that? Were you looking for a record to break, or did you just go, you know what, I'm really good at running on all fours.
I'm just going to have a crack at it.
I'm going to have a crack, see what the record is.
So I'd like to throw out something to the people at the Guinness World Records. Could they have a supplementary information section of the book that basically gives us a bit of a backstory as to how all of these records came to be, rather than just a little snippet and a picture? Really sort of dig down.
Well, can I add a further suggestion that rather than add a new section with further information, they just flesh out the original information that they had and make it longer?
Oh, yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. Definitely. I can see how both would work.
Same result, different angles.
Yeah, true.
Do you think his running style is a reason he was called Monkey Man, or has he got a habit of flinging poo at people, or looking for insects in people's heads?
Is this secondary?
Look, let's just say that I wouldn't necessarily get a job at the supplementary information section of the Guinness World Records because I didn't ask that question.
All right, so I'm flicking over the supplementary information going, all right, why is
Where's
he
the
on
poo
command?
flinging?
It's
And
just-
why does he run? Did he try Crabman? Did he try to be Crabman and run like sideways running
So,
on all
there
fours?
Well, maybe he tried Exorcist running as well and just couldn't really get the. He just couldn't get it going.
I think that's probably good promotion for this podcast, though. If no one's done 100 metres crab run,
Yeah.
fastest over 100 metres, we could probably organise that.
Yeah.
Get someone along and, sponsored by a bit weird, but fair enough, I guess.
Just do two in a day. Someone do the 100-metre crab dash and someone do the 100-metre exorcist down the stairs dash.
Yeah.
Could we get a fish and chip shop to sponsor us as well?
Well, I guess so.
Maybe seafood sticks for the winner?
Well, but I mean, for the Exorcist one, we're kind of requiring a bit of a set budget now.
Yeah, true.
Do we
That's
just
a long
wheel in?
That's a long stairwell
FX.
too. If you're trying to do 100-metre stairs, that's a long singular stairwell.
Is it with vomit or without vomit?
Well, I don't know. Now I'm just trying to incorporate, all right, so where can we get something? Maybe we just bring in old It's a Knockout sets or that Ninja Warrior set. I know it's not
Yes.
stairs, but,
Put it on an angle in the cheese factory and then we'll all be good.
I'd like Exorcist Warrior would be.
fastest to complete the Ninja Warrior course, Exorcist style, like arch backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely watching that then.
Yeah. All right.
I'll have one. I'll definitely have my hands over my eyes with my fingers open so I can see it with one eye.
All right, Matt, you teased us with the fact that your weird story involved eyeballs.
That's right. I for some reason, found myself looking at an article about weird sporting injuries, and we were talking about basketball before, and I found an injury which led me down the path of eye injuries from a basketballer called Alan Ray.
Hang on a second. Is this going to make me feel sick?
No? Question mark?
Well, I'm reassured. Continue.
Yeah, I don't think so.
another
I
podcast
think
title.
I think the weirdness of it will allay or override the gross factor.
Right.
So Alan Ray, not Ray Allen Wiggins, Alan Ray
Okay,
was a basketballer at Villanova, and he got poked in the eye, and his eye kind of popped out. So everyone freaked out on the court.
Oh.
Everyone freaked out, but apparently when they took him to hospital, they just kind of, like a dislocation almost, they just sort of popped it back in. But he said afterwards, it was the strange sensation was being able to, he was looking straight ahead and looking down at the same time.
Fuck off, no.
Because the optic nerve was intact, he could look up and was looking down at the same time. And he said it didn't freak him out. It was just like,
It didn't?
oh, no. He was just like, oh, okay, that's
All right,
weird.
Split screen.
Yeah, split screen. So then I did further reading about that, and I found that there was a case of a man in Russia whose eye fell out so far that because if you're having eye surgery or you damage your eye, you can't have
You could walk the
anaesthetic.
dog with it.
He could spin it around and
Yeah, loop to loop.
No, because when you're having eye surgery, you can't get anaesthetic on your eye. And so the doctor said, can you see, straight and down? And he said, yeah. And so then the doctor pointed his other eye back, sort of looking past his head over his shoulder.
Ugh.
And so the man...
I think the pace at which you said that made it worse because there was suspense in between every word, enough time to think about how awful this actually is.
But this is the amazing thing. It wasn't awful. The patient said he could see forwards and backwards at the same time with no disorientation.
Right. He'd be awesome at laser tag. All right. Paintball.
So it's sort of like holding a mirror up to half your face.
I don't know. I haven't quite worked out. I still, conceptually, I can't work out what that would look like. It's not split screen.
Because it's not split screen. Yeah, absolutely
It's not
right.
split screen.
Your brain stitches the two slightly different angles of your eye, what your eyes see normally, into one coherent picture. How does it stitch? How does it stitch together? 180 degrees.
That's the weird thing. It does. It stitches it together to make your field of vision.
So he's seeing like a panorama shot you might take with your iPhone.
Pretty much, yeah. He's seeing a whole like panorama shot.
Surely there is a portion of that panorama shot with a dog that looks a little bit too stretched out than it should be.
He's moved it a little too slowly or quickly.
Its legs are crushed up into its head for some reason.
But apparently this is what happens. Your brain just goes, oh, I can see backwards and forwards at the same time now. That's pretty cool.
I appreciate this story. Thank you very much. I refuse to believe he's sitting there going, I can see backwards and forwards at the same time. That's a bit weird.
See, Buckland, that's the funny thing, right? You said, no, I refuse to believe that. And I was sitting here going, the fucking human brain is an amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering where in what Matt read it said, and he was totally cool with the situation.
Well, no, that's the thing. He was nonplussed by it. He wasn't like, oh my God. He was just like, no, I could, yep. Because the doctor was like, can you see behind you and forwards? And he was like, yep. And then I guess
was his last comment just leave it out?
No, I think his last comment was, are you going to put it back in anytime soon? Before you're like, I'm going to get all my mates in and have a look and see what else. Yeah.
When you're putting an eye back in the socket, is it like, do you just sort of push all the stuff back in, or do you have to pull it out a little bit so it retracts back in like a hose?
Yeah, just a little and just slot it back in there.
Because I'm sure that if you tried to shove it all in, there'd be a little bit of optic nerve just hanging out the bottom, and then you'd have to take it out again.
It'd be annoying, wouldn't it?
Have to get some sort of shoehorn.
I think it's like a vacuum cleaner cord.
Yeah. Did he ask? Did he ask for it just to be left as it is for a while to improve his putting game, so he could have one eye down at the ball, one eye at the hole at the same time?
Wow!
And get the panorama, like a complete full view from ball to hole with no interruption.
Wow!
That's just imagine what that'll do to your short game.
Imagine if your optic nerve was like 6 foot long, and you could literally have your eyeball looking down at like on the top of your putter, and you just that'd be amazing.
Well, that's probably what happened, right? Let's just leave it.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to my story, and I'm going to linger on the first sentence of what I read here because it really does sizzle what's to come. The first sentence reads as follows. Jean Baptista dos Santos was born in Faro, Portugal, around 1843 to normal parents with 2 other normal children. Now that is a cracking first sentence,
That is a cracking sentence.
So many things are going through my mind right now.
You're going, all right, that is, I read this on the train, and I went, right, there's no seatbelts here. I can't strap myself in, but I am ready. I am ready for what's next.
You're mentally strapped in.
Yes. And hopefully you are too. He possessed 2 functioning penises and 3 scrota.
Sorry, 3 scrota?
3 scrota, which I'm going to go ahead and assume is the plural of scrotum.
Yes.
Not having needed to be used much before now.
So it's a new word. Excellent.
Yeah. It makes sense, though, that it should be scrota.
Does each scrota possess 2 testicles?
Well, here we go. The outer 2... the outer 2 of which each contained a single testy.
Hang on, wait.
Yeah.
What does that mean, the outer 2?
So I said he possessed 2 functioning penises and 3 scrota.
Uh-huh.
Did you miss the 3?
Oh, so okay.
No, but what does it mean by the outer?
3 bags.
2. Okay,
The outer 2.
So they're lined up front to back. They're not beside each other. They're lined up. So 2 at the front, 2 in the middle, 2 at the back, I would imagine.
Well, how much do you imagine?
Well, I'm imagining it right now. I'm doing the hand gestures as to where they are.
I don't think it matters whether they're side by side or forward to back. There's always going to be in a line of 3.
True. Yeah,
there's always going to be two on the outside.
Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah, I was conceptually like two were outside and one was inside. That's where my mind was.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was confused.
Oh, right. I gotcha. Okay, so the outer two each contained a single testy. Santos claimed that the central scrotum also contained a pair of fully formed testes. So he's packing 4, essentially.
Wow.
And we're taking his word for it.
That's some really interesting math, isn't it? Like there's 2 penises and 3 scroti. No?
Scrota.
Scrota, yeah.
Sorry, my apologies.
Let's get ourselves right here.
But 4 testes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there.
So it's
But it's just, when you think about it, it's just the number of scrotums that's fucked up, because everything else works. 2 balls to a penis.
Yeah, he's just got double bag.
Yep. So he had a pair of fully formed testicles in the middle one, but they'd retreated up into his abdomen when he was 10 years old.
Okay.
Oh, sad.
Probably with good cause.
Yeah.
Did one of his dicks retreat as well?
No, there's no mention of that. It might have done him a favour and done that, but no. It just casually writes here next, he also had a third leg. Now, this is the bit, and look, before you think Stuart's just found a freak and's laughing at him, that's not why this guy gets included in bit weird but fair enough. The next sentence is why.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am serious. It's 2020, mate.
Just hang on, Buckland. This guy sounds like he should be like the last bit weird, but
the
last
season,
one of the season.
A season finale.
The season finale of the man with 2 dicks and 4 testes and
but I don't.
But that's not why he's on.
I don't really want it to be about laughing at freaks. It's about this next situation that I'm about to describe.
Oh, okay.
Right now, again, this needs more fact checking than I had time for, but the next sentence reads: fortunately for Dos Santos, at the same time they lived in Paris a woman named Blanche Dumas who had 4 breasts and 2 vaginas.
Oh, hang on. Slow down.
And also had a third leg in brackets.
What?
Oh my God.
Dumas was working as a high-class prostitute. Dos Santos travelled to Paris, and it is believed the two had a torrid affair, is where that particular piece of information ends. So, you know what? I might try and do further research into that, but, why would it lie to me? That sounds like a perfectly reasonable situation for someone to find themselves in, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I'm still stunned that they were alive at the same time,
and that they found each other.
Yeah, that's the bit weird. Nothing else is weird in that story.
No, isn't it kind of like eugenic style though? Of like, only like can go with like.
Well, maybe
we're gonna keep the triple. Genitaled people together.
Third leg, though. It's sort of like, wow, that's crazy. Like double genitals.
Yeah. The bit that tickled me the most is that in this story, the third leg on both of them was a throwaway line.
Throwaway leg.
Yeah. So, but something you said before there, Ben's got me thinking now. Imagine if you were packing 2 peckers, right? And you somehow, against all fucking odds in the universe, found a woman packing 2 vaginas. Imagine what would happen if you suddenly found out that your gear was running front to back and hers was running side to side.
Oh, well,
I suppose it'd work. You'd find a way to get that to work. Now that I've thought about it a touch more,
you'd be able to figure it out. But what my concern was that one worked and one didn't.
Oh,
right.
And they switched, and you never knew which one was going to be.
Well, how many times did he faint?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know. Like if you,
let's just flip. It's like when you put an AA battery in the wrong way. You just flip it around until you get the right one to right in. Yeah?
Triple A was his actual nickname.
All right, if you'll excuse my phrasing here, I feel like I'm getting my leg pulled a little bit. So I'm going to have to look into that more, but I enjoyed just the phrasing of that story enough to include it here. I hope you'll forgive me, gentlemen.
Oh, no, I want more.
I want illustrations is what I want.
Now, product of the week. Shall I move on to that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, please.
If you were to go onto Amazon.com, and not that I'm necessarily endorsing that, and I've just flicked onto a little page here called Instant Underpants. Just add water. So this is it looks like a little tin of, shoe polish, essentially, around about that size, which presumably you can stick in your pocket. And should you, find yourself in some sort of situation where you might have caused some damage or other
soilage,
or some other unseemly event has taken place to your underpants, you can just swap out your little tin of instant underpants. Just add water, and what looks like a kind of little block of wax sort of grows and unfolds to be a ready kind of pair of underpants, which, of course, I will put this on the website, but, you don't have to suffer anymore. You can actually buy these instant underpants. $12.95, actually.
I'm out.
You're out?
I'm out on instant underpants.
What do you mean?
Well, they're going to be wet when you put them on.
Yeah, that was my question, was how wet. What if you over-wet them, then you have to put on wet undies?
Do they get bigger?
Well,
do they become like a huge nappy?
I'm going to assume that it comes with a manual of some sort. So for whatever reason on the packet there's just a guy in no clothes except underpants and a hat and a bow tie.
He's had a very big night.
Back in.
Yeah. So
marketing's work. There we go.
Yeah. So he's kind of standing there proudly, smiling up at us for whatever reason. He's holding a watering can, which is now watering down onto the packet of instant underpants. And
I'm back out.
Just beneath it, there appears to be, what looks like a snotty tissue, but I assume is meant to be a pair of underpants growing. And the line underneath says expands to fit most adults. So, there you are.
So I'm guessing it's like a chamois. Like you're just going to be wearing something that's not quite wet and not quite dry.
Well, I mean, for $12.95, we could probably
test it out.
Road test this, right? Which, again, might be sizzle for another episode.
How much is the top hat and bow tie
combo?
Watering canned combo.
I'd love to know. This is, I don't... Like, what's this guy so happy about? I'll obviously put a picture up, but he is extremely happy for someone who has had some sort of crisis situation with their pants and needs new underpants.
As soon as you said waxy, I'm just really concerned. Like
I don't know that it feels waxy. I'm just saying it looked like a little kind of circle of wax of some kind.
So I can imagine that these would get you out of a certain, it might get you out of a bit of trouble. But I feel like they'd be with you for a couple of days afterwards. Like you might be picking bits of undie out of your crack,
or something worse, right?
Well, it might attach to your scrotia and
scrotia.
Did you say scrotia as in Nova Scotia?
Scrotia, the food they eat in heaven.
So it might fuse itself to your many scrotias, and I don't know. You don't want to be left with like waxy residue, do you? After, you know what? I'm gonna find this. I'll give it a try. I'm happy to be the test case for this. If it's $12.95, I can part with that.
Yeah,
just to see.
Well, what about? I think this is as good a time as any to ask any potential sponsors who may be listening. If you want to get on board, now's the time. So we've got a bit of a, instant underpant budget to work with here.
Well, more importantly, if you're someone who's got what you believe is a superior instant underpant product, I'm happy to road test several.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd do a cold read as well. For that ad, for sure.
Old read. Oh, dear.
A cold, wet read. Let's move on, probably for the best, to the parting oddity. And I found a variety pack of soda for anyone who really just needs to know what buffalo wing flavoured soft drink tastes like.
Oh, come on.
So in this variety pack, that's not the worst one. Actually, you can decide what's the worst one. I'll read out the flavours in this 6-pack sampler set.
Oh, can I have a guess?
Well, yeah, you can. This is Lester's Fixin's outrageous, wild, crazy flavour soda pop 6-pack sampler set. And guess what? You can find that on fucking Amazon as well.
All right.
Now you know from the fact that it's called soda pop that it's American.
Yes.
So let that be a clue for you when you're trying to guess these.
Okay. Cheese and garlic.
No. One of them I already said Buffalo Wings, so that's one of the 6 down. Buffalo Wings.
Is there a hot dog?
There is not hot dog, no.
Oh, ribs.
No. I like the idea. That's probably preferable to some of these.
New England clam chowder?
No clam chowder. That's probably
All right, this will be my last guess.
Yep.
Maple syrup.
No.
Okay.
No. Matt, you want a last one?
Bacon?
Yes.
Oh.
Well done.
So we got buffalo bacon. That means you're still in, Matt. Have another go. Think
blue
of
cheese?
traditional American.
Hamburger.
No. All right.
Sorry, I
so
said
the
I wouldn't guess again, but-
remaining flavors: sweet corn. That's a soft drink. Ranch dressing soda.
Oh, come on.
Peanut butter and jelly. And pumpkin pie. So there you go. That's the
Far
6-pack
out.
sampler set for you.
Oh, that sounds gross. Ranch dressing soda sounds like the worst idea.
Yeah. So
Do
there
you
go.
like your soda, I guess, extra...
Milky?
Extra creamy?
Oh, I'll tell you something right now, though. I would rather drink the ranch dressing one than the corn one. The corn one can go and get fucked.
Yeah, corn juice. Out now.
No. It's soda pop. It's not juice.
Oh, no, that's right. Sweet corn juice.
Yeah.
So we might leave everyone there with the thoughts of knocking back some sweet corn juice or, pumpkin pie flavoured drink. And I'll say a thank you and a very good night to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Stu. Anytime.
Thank you, Stu. Can I just say, what would the Australian 6-pack look like? I would go with whole egg mayo.
That'd be your first Australian Australian cuisine, whole egg mayo.
Tasty Tubes.
Yep.
Tasty
soda.
Tubes soft drink. Devon.
Devon.
Vegemite.
Let's be honest.
Vegemite soda, pavlova.
Shrimp.
Shrimp. That's interesting, given we don't call them shrimp too. Like,
Well,
is that pandering
He's
to the
trying to
American?
market. He's trying to market
audience, yeah.
overseas.
Exactly.
All right. So what's
I'm
more?
sure there'd be some others.
What about beer? Beer flavored soda.
Oh, nice. What's the most awful one there? I'd say Tasty Tubes is worse than Devon. But we listeners of this podcast won't know we've argued about that a lot before.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'm very anti-tube. Ben, there is, seemingly pro-tube. I'm not going to go into it.
I'm definitely, look, yeah, we don't have enough time.
Yeah, this is where I'm gently fading out if I keep any of this in.